More coaching changes at Michigan to discuss. We got Justin Rowe on the line from Stadium in Maine podcast here at the Voice of College Football, breaking down the Wolverines. Hey, Justin, how's it going today?
Good, Mark. How are you?
I'm doing well. Enjoy the spring weather and the season of speculation concerning college football. All right, but we'll go to the here and now and what is known. And that's that the program lost Maurice Lindquist to the Buffalo head coaching vacancy. And then a hire here just in the last couple of days in Steve Clinkscale coming in from Kentucky. Your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely didn't think we'd see any more coaching changes in Ann Arbor here until at least come November. But it turns out, I thought it's probably a no-brainer for Mo Linguist to take a head coaching job there, right? That's pretty great trajectory for him to go from position coach at the Cowboys to co-defensive coordinator and then get a head coaching job without even coaching a game here at Michigan. So, he's got to take it. It sounded like the money was about the same, and then it escalated duties and responsibilities. But I tell you what, here in Ann Arbor and, scrolling Twitter and media and the Michigan fan base, it was panic late last week when Mo Linguist announced this and when Buffalo came out and announced that he was going to be the head coach. Linguist had made a really big impact on the recruiting trail right away. Him being elevated to co-defensive coordinator with Mike McDonald was a pretty big deal. And it sounded like, he was a huge impact for Will Johnson, the five-star corner coming to Michigan. And then there was still rumors that Damani Jackson, the USC commit, was possibly going to come back and play with Will. So I think he played a lot in those recruiting impacts and commitments. And so it was kind of a panic. I think everybody thought, all right, we're in mid-May. Spring season has ended already. He has had a big impact on this defense. Now what do you do? But I will say I have to give a ton of credit to Jim Harbaugh for turning this around and getting a hire in Steve Clinkscale within, less than a week here. And Steve Clinkscale, he's not a schlum who they just picked up just because he was the only one available. He has been a legitimate, solid coach at Kentucky. Actually, this probably better than I do, talking to Kentucky people and SEC people. Kentucky's defense in the last 5 years, while Clinkscale has been there, has been probably the best in their entire program history. So he's done a great job. I've seen some film of him, working with guys as well, and I think he's relatable. He's similar to Lindquist, that he will do great on the recruiting trail. I even saw it. He's going to be the defensive passing game coordinator as well as the defensive backs coach. I saw him making an impact on the recruiting trail for the defensive line already, though, too. And so I think he's a great recruiter. Him and Ron Bellamy have ties that go back a ways, and I could see them, too, kind of tackling this recruiting trail for Michigan and really going all out.
Yeah, the Kentucky defense has been one of the better units in the SEC, particularly in 2018, but pretty much overall just for the last 4 years since Mark Stoops has built that program. And as you mentioned, it's been from a recruiting standpoint that they brought in better players, but also development standpoint that has moved those guys on to the NFL at much higher rates than they've ever experienced. And ironically, a lot of the recruiting success for Kentucky has come by them going north, determining that they couldn't go to the Deep South and compete with the rest of the SEC, but they've gone to Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Michigan to gain a lot of those players, and he's been pretty instrumental in those successes.
Yeah, he grabbed a 2025 star, I believe, Justin Rogers, right out of Oak Park, right out of Michigan's backyard, essentially, which was a huge blow. I know Michigan wanted him badly, and so that helps as well. He's already got his feet entrenched up here in Michigan and Ohio, and I know that's been kind of a sore subject for some Michigan fans out there, because Michigan hasn't necessarily been dominant in recruiting up here in the North, or as dominant as you may think, with teams like Michigan State probably on the, on a downtrend. So that's definitely something that will help. And I think Clinkscale can make a big impact there. But I'd love to see him go down and try to go to Kentucky, try to go to some of that SEC country that he has been traveling with Kentucky, and say, hey, we're building something pretty dang good up here in Ann Arbor too. You should come check us out. So it'll be interesting to see how he pans out as a recruiter. But I think, from what we've talked about with Jim Harbaugh, what he's trying to do with his coaching staff and go younger and relatable and definitely, have some fire and culture, I think Steve Clinkscale fits that narrative. So he may not be quite as young as a Mike Hart or as a Josh Gaddis, but he is on the younger side. And so from what Mo Linguist was building here in terms of a culture in Ann Arbor, I think Steve Clinkscale should be able to pick it up pretty quickly and continue.